Do you know what actually happens inside your cat's body when they eat wet food every single day? Most owners think it's just a tastier meal. But in reality, it completely changes how their internal organs function, how they feel, and even how they act around you daily. From helping their kidneys stop running on empty due to a lack of water, to transforming a dry, rough coat into something incredibly glossy. It all starts with this one shift. However, there is one massive risk that, if ignored, can cause daily wet food to quietly backfire and harm your pet. Let's explore the secrets happening inside your cat's body right now. 1. Evolutionary hydration and urinary system support. Many cat owners view meal choice as a simple preference, but it fundamentally alters internal organ function and feline behavior. Felines evolved as desert hunters, meaning their ancestors relied on prey for almost all their hydration. Consequently, their biological thirst drive is naturally low, as they were never designed to drink water on the side like other animals. This evolutionary trait becomes a major health liability in modern homes because dry kibble only contains about 10% moisture. In contrast, wet food offers 75% to 80% moisture, which is the exact moisture content found in a mouse or small bird. When you switch to daily wet food, your cat's hydration levels jump immediately, allowing their kidneys to stop working overtime to filter concentrated waste products. This process dilutes their urine and significantly lowers the risk of crystals or life-threatening urinary blockages, which are among the most common emergencies for cats, especially males. Research published in the Journal of Feline Medicine and Surgery confirms that cats on wet diets produce significantly higher urine volume with lower concentrations, which is exactly what a healthy system needs. By choosing wet food, your cat's body finally stops running on empty. If you find these biological insights helpful for your pet's long-term health, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel. It helps us reach more dedicated owners who want to provide the best for their cats. This foundational shift in hydration is what makes every other health benefit on this list possible. 2. Metabolism, weight management, and the satiety signal. Weight struggles in indoor cats are rarely a result of laziness or a lack of willpower. They are often caused by a food design problem in the bowl. Dry kibble is frequently packed with carbohydrates, with some brands containing 40% or more. Yet cats are obligate carnivores with almost no biological use for those sugars. Their bodies are inefficient at processing carbs for energy, so the excess is stored as fat. When you transition to daily wet food, the metabolic equation changes because wet food is naturally higher in protein and moisture, while being significantly lower in carbohydrates. This combination triggers a powerful satiety response in the brain that carbs simply cannot match. A study from the Waltham Center for Pet Nutrition found that cats fed wet food were much more likely to maintain a lean body composition compared to those on dry diets, even when allowed to eat freely. Unlike dry food, which digests fast and leaves cats feeling empty within hours, the high protein levels in wet food allow your cat to feel truly satisfied on fewer calories. This means you no longer have to measure every single gram to prevent weight gain. If your cat has been carrying extra weight and nothing seems to work, it might not be about how much you are feeding, but the biological quality of what is in the bowl. By prioritizing wet food, you are working with your cat's natural metabolism instead of against it, allowing them to feel full and energized throughout the day. 3. The external indicator. Skin and coat transformation. A cat's coat is one of the most honest indicators of their internal nutritional status. When nutrition is off, the coat is often the first thing to show it through dull fur, excessive shedding, or flaky skin. These are not just cosmetic problems. They are signals that the body is rationing nutrients for survival. Dry kibble, even high-quality brands, goes through intense heat processing that breaks down many of the delicate nutrients cats need for skin health. Wet food, however, is naturally rich in animal-based proteins and fats, the two primary building blocks that skin and fur depend on most. Within just a few weeks of starting a daily wet food regimen, most owners notice a dramatic visible transformation. The fur typically becomes softer and glossier, while the greasy or dusty texture seen in many kibble-fed cats begins to disappear. This is one of the first visible signs that something deeper is improving within their system. Research published in the Journal of Nutritional Science showed that cats on high-protein, moisture-rich diets displayed significantly improved coat quality and skin health compared to those on dry alternatives. If you have tried every brush, supplement, and shampoo with no success, the answer might already be sitting in the wet food aisle. A healthy, shining coat is the visible proof that your cat is finally receiving the deep, animal-based nourishment their biology requires to thrive, rather than just surviving on processed grains and carbohydrates. 4. Behavioral shifts and the end of food frustration. Does your cat start screaming the second you walk toward the kitchen, or inhale their food as if someone is about to steal it? Most owners assume this is just personality, but it is often a sign that the cat is never actually satisfied. Cats eating dry food often develop frantic eating habits because kibble doesn't send the right fullness signals to their brain. The high-carb, low-moisture content digests rapidly, leaving the cat feeling empty again within hours, leading to begging, pacing, and 4 a.m. wake-up calls. Switching to daily wet food breaks this cycle. The higher protein content triggers a real satiety response, while the moisture adds physical volume to the meal, stretching the stomach just enough to activate "I'm done" signals in the brain. A study in the Journal of Veterinary Behavior confirmed that cats fed high-protein diets showed reduced food-seeking behavior and were less likely to show signs of frustration between meals. For cats that have developed speed eating as a behavioral habit, pairing wet food with a food puzzle can slow them down and tap into their natural foraging instincts. This is exactly how their brains were wired to eat in the first place. Once their biological hunger and mental need for foraging are both addressed, the desperation and food-guarding behaviors often fade away. This approach transforms mealtime from a chaotic, loud event into a quiet and peaceful part of your daily routine, as your cat finally feels consistently satisfied. 5. Managing the risk, safety, and proper handling. While the benefits of wet food are immense, there is one critical risk that can quietly backfire if you aren't paying attention: bacterial growth. Unlike dry kibble, which can sit out all day without changing, wet food begins to breed bacteria the moment it hits room temperature. Depending on how warm your home is, that safety window can be as short as 1 to 2 hours. Cats that like to graze throughout the day are especially at risk. That second visit to the bowl later in the afternoon might not be safe anymore. The food may look and smell fine to you, but bacterial growth doesn't always announce itself. The safe rule is simple. If your cat hasn't finished it in 2 hours, toss it. Any unused portion from the can should be covered and refrigerated immediately and used within 48 hours. Additionally, serving cold food straight from the fridge isn't ideal, as cats are drawn to food near body temperature, which mimics fresh prey. Adding a splash of warm water can bring it to the right range and make it more appealing. Handling wet food correctly is the difference between helping your cat and accidentally causing health problems. If you found these safety tips and nutritional insights helpful, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel to help us keep providing evidence-based advice for your feline friends. By mastering these handling techniques, you ensure that the daily wet food you provide remains a source of health and vitality, giving your cat exactly what their body was designed for.